Hi everybody, this is Mike Moran, Woodrow Wilson High School principal. In this video, I'm going to go through a sample lesson that may happen with students in both an in-person and a distance setting. Students at home will be expected to complete the same assignments and will benefit from attending class synchronously as much as possible. So here we have a table that will help explain that. So we have our at-home student, in-person student, and our teacher. So right now we're really going to focus on the at-home student portion and what the teacher's doing. So ignore the times right now. You'll see on the other videos there is an updated bell schedule, but this is really just going to go through what the flow of a lesson would look like. So again, ignore the times, but think through what that progression of what a lesson would look like. So in the first 10 minutes, the student's going to log into Google Classroom. They're going to pull up the materials and complete like a one-word check-in. A one-word check-in is that they would just say how they're feeling. That's going to allow the teacher to be able to get a quick snapshot on how the students are feeling as they're coming into that digital space. Then maybe from 9:10 to 9:25, or about a 15-minute chunk of time in there to begin the lesson, that they're going to push play probably on a recorded lesson that the teacher has done. This way the teacher's going to be able to rehearse it. If there's any accommodations or modifications, like translation that needs to be added, they can do that beforehand. And then the student, while they're watching that, is going to be able to really see a strong model, hear the lesson objectives, and whatever the mastery criteria is that they'll be expected to accomplish in that learning time. So during this time, they're really going to see what the teacher is asking them to do, and the teacher should be really clear about naming or stamping and being explicit about what the teacher is modeling so students understand what they're going to be expected to do. The next is practice. So there's really just instruction and practice. That's really how learning works. And so this is their opportunity to do it. So in this time, there should be some guided practice. So there should be some coaching and some peer feedback during this. And so the example we have here is creating a thesis statement. So at this point, they may open up a Google Doc that's linked in their Google Classroom, and they're going to work on creating a thesis statement that they saw modeled in the teacher video. And then they'll have their partner practice, so using success criteria. So again, teacher needs to be clear about what the standards of mastery are through a rubric or whatever grading criteria are going to be used. So they'll be able to look at peers and have some feedback on their writing to make sure that they're on track. Maybe an opportunity then, again, for them to post comments about how the example that they're looking at does meet that success criteria, that meets the highest level on our rubrics that outline the standards of mastery. And then I think it's important that they practice again. So now that you've gotten some feedback, both from the teacher and from your peers, you understand it more, you get another chance to practice. So at this point, they're creating a thesis statement again, maybe in another Google Doc on a second portion of that document. Or possibly at this time, they're getting pulled to the side by the teacher into a breakout room or some digital space for them to co-write with the teacher. At this point, we have what we call a DOL, a demonstration of the learning. So at this point, we want to see students complete something independently without any help from their peers so that we get a snapshot of where each student is individually. And then an exit ticket component. So there might be a question or a piece of reflection that comes on that. And then finally, class closure, students post a note of gratitude for a classmate that's helped them. So even though we're going to be in a distant format, it's important that we still are intentional about ways to be thoughtful about building connections and community in our classrooms. And so at the same time, the teacher is helping the student navigate through these things. So while the student is watching the video, they're recording attendance. They're looking at those one-word check-ins and seeing if there's any students that are in need that they could reach out to through a kind word or possibly pass it on to our counselors. Formative feedback, so they're watching students work in real time and giving feedback. They may be looking for a student example that they're going to put up just like they would in class and have students look at that so that they can show that that is an example that meets the standards of mastery. They may use something like Flipgrid, which is an online posting platform where students can comment on that about what makes it exemplary. And again, there may be that opportunity for the teacher to grab a few students into a small breakout room in Zoom or another platform or on a Google document so they can co-write together. And then again, this is the teacher's opportunity to get feedback on the effectiveness of the lesson so that they can make adjustments before the next time they teach it or the next time that they see those students. So that's kind of an outline of what a lesson could look like. So key points for our lesson structure is that the lesson cycle of instruction and feedback is still important. Just because we're in a distance format, unlike the spring where students work pretty much on their own over the course of the week, we're really going to operate still within a lesson cycle. There should be a daily SEL component as we're building safe and welcoming learning environments. Materials will be available for asynchronous learning so that they're going to be available if there's an issue with technology or Wi-Fi at the house or having to watch little brother or sister or some other interference. So it'll be available asynchronously, means not having to do it when the class is going on because of an interruption, but If the student is not logged on during the class period that they're assigned to work with that class, students and teacher, they really are going to miss out on real-time feedback and collaboration opportunities. So those are really critical things to make sure the student is able to get the feedback and support that they can do their best work. And then finally, the expectation that an assignment is submitted every day for the assigned class on a student's schedule. So there still will be larger assignments where they have multiple days to complete those, but there still should be an independent task that's assigned and completed and turned in every single day. Some that's going to help us get daily feedback, and it's also going to help us with attendance. So for related information, there's some other videos. There's a bell schedule video. There's one about the Wednesday flex schedule, and there's also one about the AB calendar that may help you understand these things better. So again, thank you for partnering with us to make Woodrow Wilson the exemplary school for teaching and learning.